baby, bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye. Don't wanna be a fool for you. Just another player in your game for two.
Howdy, partners. It's your buddy and pal, Bucktooth Billy here. And today at Morning Country Daily News, we've been talking about books. And the book we're going to be discussing today is No Country for Old Men. I personally love the novel, and I give it 7 yees out of 10. We have someone out in the field doing some field reporting, and we'll be answering some questions out there. So,
hello, Billy. Yes, it's Charlie out here in South Central Texas. After reading the book and examining it, I would give it about 8 yees out of 10. It's probably where I'm around. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Now, today, our viewers really wanted us to answer some questions. And one of those questions was, what is one of the themes in the book? That's a very, very popular question after reading a novel. And one theme, I believe, that's very prominent in this novel, or book, as you say, is to not take what isn't yours. Taking what isn't yours is not right. It is considered stealing, and if you do it, you can get in a lot of trouble. And it is much simpler to just not do it. And what are your thoughts, Charlie?
Yes, Billy, I agree with that theme, but I think a more prominent theme would be the good versus evil between Moss and Shurga, the drug cartel hitman. Shurga is like a bad character, you can tell. He's looking for Moss, trying to kill him, and then Moss just comes off as more of the good guy, the former officer. He's just a good guy. Back to you.
Very much, Charlie, for your input. I still believe that stealing is a better theme in this novel, but we'll move on. Some of the characters play a huge role, obviously, in this book. The one I tend to relate more to is the cold blood murderer Shurga. I really just kind of see myself in him, and he's very down to the point and gets stuff done. And that just sounds a lot like me, if you know me. But I just want to kind of know how you feel about that, Charlie, and yeah, take it away.
I agree with you 100%, Billy. Shurga seems to be a strong go-getter, and I see myself like that. He's a strong-willed man. He gets it. He gets what he wants. All right.
Thank you, Charlie. That's very interesting input. Now, moving on, we're going to be talking about the genre of the book. I consider this a Western thriller, and this doesn't really affect the novel itself. It just more accurately describes it. I loved it. Like I said earlier, it was amazing. Left and right, you were taking hits. I mean, you were not expecting it. It was a wonderful turn. Every chapter was a cliffhanger, and you just really couldn't get enough of it. So, but the genre it falls under, like I said, was a Western thriller. Beautiful book. Back to you, Charlie.
Yes, I do agree with you, Billy. That was a Western thriller. I enjoyed the book a lot. You were correct. Back to you.
Thank you, Charlie. You good there, buddy? Seem to be getting tripped up a little bit. Alright, moving on, we're going to be talking about the language and writing style of No Country for Old Men, the novel we've been talking about today. It's more of a simpler written book, written in chronological order, so it's just kind of a story that breaks down throughout and just goes next thing, next thing, next thing. No really flashbacks or anything like that, except for the first 3 chapters where it does flashback in the second one, but then it's quick to throw it back into real time, and then after that, it's a chain of events. And the story flows better, I feel like, whenever it's in chronological order, because you kind of get a feel of what's going on, and it makes more sense. That's just my personal opinion. What about you, Charlie?
Yes, Billy. Very well said. The way he writes the book makes it flow very well, and is very easy to read.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Now, we're going to be moving on to more of a personal connection with the theme and kind of just the book in general. So we're just going to go kind of into me personally. When I was a kid, one time we were at the animal shelter and I picked me up a kitten. I put the kitten in my lap and I left the animal shelter. My parents found out whenever they saw the kitten was home alone. Now, it was a very tough story because shortly after I got 30 whoopings on my bum. I definitely learned from that story not to steal, and from now on, I don't steal. So whenever I was reading this book, whenever Moss was stealing and he was taking what it wasn't his, I knew he wasn't doing right. And so that is how it correlates with the theme, and that's just the personal connection. What about you, Charlie?
Thank you, Billy. Good story. My personal connection with the book would fall back on the theme of good versus evil. So personally, my wife and I have a lot of arguments, and I would say that I'm good. I'm always on the good side. She's more of the evil, opposing side, and that works out with Moss and Schugenberg all the time. That's what I was thinking for my personal connection.
Yes, very interesting, Charlie. Now to wrap things up, this book was amazing. I loved it. Through the prominent themes in the book, through the figurative language it uses, through the amazing characters it has, it all comes hand in hand with a beautiful book. I would definitely read it again. I definitely recommend it to all of the viewers. It's a wonderful read. I can't urge you enough to read this wonderful book. I connect with it on a personal level, and so does Charlie, and I can guarantee you will too. It's a very great book, and back to you, Charlie.
Yes, Billy, thank you for having me. Great novel. Would recommend. Everybody stay safe, have a good time, have a good night.